Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to revisit V Rising. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 35 bucks or so. The reason I'm covering this game again is because the game recently released into 1.0. It released out of early access, and I wanted to see what the game was like now. I have about 12 hours on record over the past 2 weeks and 125 hours on record total. I played this a lot in early access, and I've been playing it for the last, say, couple of days, I suppose, and I'm about halfway through my current playthrough. They have added some new things, which I'll get to in a little bit. There's an online play mode, there's a private game mode, and you can also host a dedicated server. It says rent a dedicated server or set up your own. I don't know how to do that. I'm old. There's relaxed, normal, and brutal difficulty. There is an advanced difficulty button, so you can customize some things. However, one thing I noticed, it seems to be missing stuff. Like, I vaguely remember in early access being able to adjust the amount of damage the sun did to you, because you're a vampire in this game, how much damage garlic did to you. There were certain things that were taken out. I don't know if it was like a design choice because people were getting confused, like they were getting too many options. I don't know, but I'm missing some of that. So just be warned, some of the options aren't all there. Although according to the forums, you can adjust these things anyway via a text file. I don't know again how to do that, but some people are working around that issue by looking up the text file and editing things. If you youngsters want to do that, then great. So my favorite part of this game is the castle building. By default, I think you can only have like one or two castles, something like that. But I usually up it to like five or six. There's a giant open world, and you can claim land and then put a castle there. And you can pretty much decorate it. I love the torches. You can change their colors. There are different rooms that you'll need to create. I mean, you don't have to create rooms, but it's ideal because the different equipment benches you put down, like jewel crafting stations, leather working stations, they work better if they are in their own room and they have their appropriate matching flooring. So there might be like leather working flooring, and if you put all the leather working crafting stations in that room, they work better. So there's a reason to separate out all the different types of crafting tables you'll get. And I have like 20, 25 with like, I want to say 8 different rooms. You can also capture servants in this, like capture enemies in this game, like humanoids, and then bring them back. You can either keep them in jail and tap them as needed for blood, or you can put them to work. You can equip them with different gear and send them out and get supplies, which is cool. There's a new music box, which I don't remember before. You unlock music tracks as you play. One of the complaints I had with the previous builds was that it was the same track over and over. I turned it off and just put my own on. Here, like, you actually unlock more music tracks as you play. There's a castle throne, like I was saying. You can sit down and assign your servants to different areas on the map, and there's different loot that they can get. And they even have, like, specific skills. Like, this person might be good in farmland territory, so it increases their chances of completing their mission without injury at those locations if you assign them to those locations. Progression in this game is not like it's not experience based. It's all like you have to defeat the next enemy types. Like there's bosses throughout. There's a ton of bosses. You track them down, you kill them, you unlock new stuff. That's the progression. It's not like you're level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Your gear level determines your level. So as you defeat these bosses, you unlock new material types like copper and then iron and so on, different cloth-like stuffs. And then you equip that gear. That's how you become stronger. It's not just grind the same levels over and over. No, it's not, none of that. You actually have to progress with gear. There's talent trees. There's a ton of those. You unlock skill points. You can change different forms. Like there's rat form, human form. You can even like suck your own blood dry to regain health. You have to then tap out new sources so that you don't like your blood sources are cool because like if you tap creatures, you get different buffs. If you tap humanoids, you get different buffs. And then there's the quality of the blood as well. So that all changes. So if the blood of the quality of the blood is like 75%, you get some really strong buffs for that particular creature type. Whereas if you only tap a creature that's say 2% blood type or like quality, then it's not going to be that great. But yeah, this is an action RPG at its heart. So if you've played like, I don't know, Diablo, if you've played Last Epoch, different, Pillars of Eternity, Poe, it's similar to that. And it's only $35 compared to Diablo 4, which is like what, 70, 80? And I've already got like 100. I played this more than Diablo 4. I have like, again, 120 some hours total in this game. And again, ideally what you're trying to do is you're going around killing bosses, extracting their quote unquote V blood, and that unlocks new recipes for you. And that's the main progression of this game. In between, you go around to different places and gather material. You have to craft the gear. Like, yeah, you've unlocked the recipe for it, but now you have to craft the gear. So you have to go around, you have to mine out ore veins, you have to like chop down trees for wood and get fiber and find this material here. There are different biomes, so like some are like grasslands, some are like the swampy biome. There's like a mechanical biome. There's a new one that they added because of 1.0 release. That's really cool, and I'll show you that in a minute. So yeah, like there's a lot to do. There's also a day and night cycle. So if you stand in the sun, you take damage. It's typical. So if you're running around in the daytime, you have to stay in the shade. Otherwise, you take damage. So there's little things like that. Playing this virtual vampire, that's a lot of fun. Again, I like the castle management. One thing I don't like is that there's no real way to there's no tower defense or base defense. So there is a new rift incursions mechanic, and I'll get into that now, I guess. Every so often, these rifts appear, and they will grant you these Stygian shards should you complete these events. It seems to be the same location. I just started getting into it. But these rifts appear, and you destroy all the enemies at the rift. And there's like 3 or 4 rifts in quick succession. If you defeat all of them, you get great loot. And then you can bring that back to a special table and unlock new abilities that are passive. So that's really cool. I like that new ability. So it reminds me of other MMORPGs where there are events out in the world that you can go to, sort of just participate in, and then by doing that you get rewards for it, and then you can unlock new stuffs and get new loot, and that's what you're doing here. So on occasion, when I'm not in the mood to hunt down the next boss, I'll come here and just get all these Stygian shards, whatever they're called, and then go to my little table and unlock new stuff. So I like that, and it's around level 50-ish. Gear level 50 is when you'll start getting access to that. There are different level rifts too. So some of them are like level 1 rifts for like level 50 plus, and then there's rifts for like level 70 plus, I think it is, like level 2. But you get better gear for that. So just be warned. There's a lot to do on that end of it. The Altar of Stygian Awakening has like, I want to say, 18 or so skills that you can throw Stygian shards at. Then there's also greater Stygian shards, and then one above that, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 Stygian stuffs. So there's a lot to grind out there, in addition to the other things that you might be used to doing in this game. All in all, I'm having a great time with it. Like I said, I spent more time playing this than I have Diablo 4, which is crazy when you think about it. Yeah, Blizzard is this giant company, and then you've got this developer that comes along with V Rising, and it's just it's huge. It's fun. There's base building. You can teleport around the map. My only real complaint is that I wish that there was an optional base defense thing that you could turn on, like enemies actually attacking your castle. And I wish there were like defenses you could put up, and I want it to be like an extra layer of, like, I want a reason to build my castle a certain way, like, extra tanky. Maybe you might put my walls this way for extra defense, something like that. But I unfortunately don't see that coming. more foresee that happening. At the moment, castles seem to be more aesthetic and more for crafting than anything else. But again, some people may not like that whole base defense idea, so like I said, optional. I wish it was like an optional thing that you could turn on, add an extra layer to the game. Because there's PvP as well. You can totally raid other people's castles. Like this game feels like it's meant for PvP. If you're gonna play PvE solo or with like one or two other people, don't be afraid to make the game less grindy by making the difficulty settings much easier. You'll thank me later, otherwise you'll spend months, years. It's super grindy. So, just the game by default is balanced for a large group, it seems, like Ark Survival Evolved. So go ahead and turn down the difficulty, make it less punishing for you, and, do you. The game is nice that way. Well, there you go. That was V Rising 1.0 Plus. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.